Hello. So when I heard about this plan for this wedding, a week at the beach, secluded beach house, two families that don't know each other very well, lots of alcohol, late night partying, I thought, what could possibly go wrong?
Nothing yet.
But I got to tell you that I've enjoyed this week like no other in years. I'm sure my family feels the same way. The Wileys, I know they work really hard, but they party just as hard. And they entertain like nobody's business. I also found out that our families both hail from distant Scotland, so there's probably some interesting history that we should go look up there and see if these two are already related. What I really like about this is that Craig's people and my people have become our people. And that's what family is, and we really enjoyed that. So, I'm going to say a few words about Chris. You know, when you look at the Bible and think about what a father is, there's an example in the book of Ruth, a man called Boaz. He was a successful farmer, was a benevolent man, a kind man, and he saw a woman named Ruth that he knew that her family had fallen on hard times. And he watched over this woman, made sure she was protected when she came on his lands, and that her family got enough to eat. And he later married her, and out of their union came the great grandson of that union was King David of Israel. So great things came from Boaz, who was an example of what a family man really is. And that's the standard that I think we should measure Chris by. Chris was raised to be a Christian gentleman, and I think he's done that. He was raised to be a good husband, a good father, a good provider, and a strong protector of his family. And that's what I think what he's going to do, Chris. Now, that's the good news. Here's the bad news. We have a number of relatives that we didn't invite. We made sure they weren't on the invitation list. Let me see where that list is.
Came anywhere?
Here it is. It's surprisingly long.
Page.
I can say that most of the people on this list are from Mickey's side of the family. Not over yet. Okay, these are the non-Boaz-like relatives that we didn't invite. Do we have some Brokaz relatives? Yes, we do. I'm proud to say there are no Candy-Az relatives. And there are no Cheatin'-Az relatives. As to the Crooked-Az relative, let me just say that has never been proven, and the case has a small possibility of being thrown out. Cheap-Az, no, we don't have any Cheap-Az relatives. Dumb-Az, well, I have to say that we've all been that relative at some point in our life. And some of us were that relative this week. Good for nothing as, that's still to be determined. That guy we're looking at. Jackass, unfortunately, a jackass is another name for a Democrat. Done. Okay? There are many Democrats in my family, I'm pleased to say. They're very easy to recognize because they're the relatives that sit around and they wait for the government to come by and give them free stuff. I've got to finish this so I can sit down. Come on now.
Ease it up.
I'm Surprised to see the phrase lazy ass on here. That wasn't here when I asked Mickey to look at this list yesterday. Lion ass, no. Weak ass sometimes. You know who you are. And we have a distant second cousin who has a real evil temper. He's a cousin twice removed from prison. He's beating your ass. We try to stay away from him as much as possible. He was invited, but I advise you to stay away from him. But Chase, you can do whatever you want to do. Let me just close with the observation that I'm sure that these last few months have really been a whirlwind for Christopher and Bridget when you think about it. Bridget has 1.5 jobs. She's got a household to run. Chris is going to school and trying to help Bridget in the house as much as possible. And we can all tell that raising little Penny Pooh is going to be a full-time job for 2 people. So the problem is when you have a lot of responsibilities and a lot of pressures and a lot of things coming in on your life, it's easy sometimes to miss the sound of that little quiet voice that you need to hear sometimes. And one chance to hear that voice is when you hear distant thunder at night, you startle awake, and then the thunder is louder, and you know there's a storm coming. And your small children come. One moment. And they get in bed with you because they're afraid. If you listen quietly, you can hear the sound of that small voice at that time. Another opportunity, if you get up and you sit out here and watch the sunrise out of the Atlantic, you can hear that small voice. That's assuming that you haven't stayed up all night before that event. What that small voice says, that's the voice of God. What he's saying is, you're the person I intended to make. You're living the life I intended you to live, and you're living it with the person that I made for you. That's the voice that you guys need to always hear.